Good morning and welcome to the wonderful world of Des Moines. Now just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't have a lot autism related to talk about tonight. I am just going to start out by sharing just something I thought was really cute that I found in one of my journals. And this would have been when Craig was 4 years old. It said, Craig didn't cry today when I picked him up from school, even though he had his mittens on. Apparently, they were working on keeping mittens on Craig when he was outside, which would have made total sense that he would not have liked that.
He didn't like the restriction of them.
Well, I'm sure it felt weird, and changing anything like that back then was always a struggle. Craig willingly wears gloves and hats now, which is good.
If it's really cold.
Yeah, but he doesn't, I was going to, it has to be really cold.
He would prefer if he could go all winter long with just a sweatshirt on, which you see a lot of kids do.
Mm-hmm. And shorts.
And he's got, and he would wear shorts too in the wintertime if we'd let him. So.
Yeah, he doesn't feel the cold like we do. He also wore them all during recess. He wanted them off as soon as we got into the car. He was doing something funny since yesterday. He calls Joe Gordy, which was from that pig movie.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
When I read this, I remembered it, but I hadn't thought of it in a long time. It's so funny. He also calls me Snoopy. He must have been in a Snoopy watching phase then. He will take Joe's hand and say, "Come on, Gordy."
I don't actually remember that, but I wouldn't put it past him, yeah.
He also wanted to go for pizza today when I picked him up from school. And he said, "Pizza?" And I said, "No, we'll go home." And he said, "Pizza? Like he was trying to talk me into getting pizza by saying, "Doesn't that sound good, Mom?"
You must have forgot. It tastes good.
Which is funny, because I don't remember Craig being that communicative at 4 years old. Then it said tonight Stephanie and Craig were playing a lot, and they were playing Ring Around the Rosie with two of Stephanie's dolls, and now they were wrestling on the couch. It's past their bedtimes, but they each took naps around 5, so they're not really tired. So I'm letting them stay up later. Of course, whenever I saw them playing together like that, I was always so happy to see Craig interacting that I know I would have let him stay up as long as he wanted to, as long as he would play.
Unfortunately, that she was already in school by then. Mm-hmm. If he was 4, she would have been in kindergarten. So, but
we were never really strict on bedtimes. Joe worked midnight, so I don't know.
On.
It was just our schedules were always way different from other people's.
Pretty messed up.
And we all survived. So just talk about what's going on. Actually, yesterday I got the dreaded jury duty.
The summons.
Summons in the mail, which wouldn't be so bad, but it was for starting on September 11th. And our vacation, we're leaving for Florida on the 16th. So I put in to be excused, which they denied, but they did let me postpone it.
Yeah, and that's what we probably should have put in for the postponement. I mean, the denied is you just don't have to do jury duty, period.
Yeah.
And I think if you're denied, they maybe even take you off of further listings.
Well, when we still lived in Knoxville, shortly after Craig turned 18, I think it was, or maybe it was a little bit, because he is 30 now. But anyway, at one time, Craig got a summons for jury duty in the mail, which I thought was really hilarious to think of Craig. He'd be like, guilty.
Yeah.
It would be just like, he would act just like he would have acted if he saw it on a cartoon.
And we talked about that you can change Craig's mind so easily on anything just by raising your voice or something. So if Craig would have been on jury duty, and if it came down to, what is it, 9 people on a jury?
I don't even know anymore.
No, it's more than that.
I haven't watched court TV.
I'm trying to think of the Alfred Hitchcock movie, Something Angry Men. Is it 12 Angry Men?
I think so.
12. If Craig's vote was the casting vote for guilty or not guilty, and both sides would be trying to change his mind, he would say, okay, guilty, okay, not guilty, okay, guilty, okay, not guilty, just back and forth like that. So it's about as crazy as if he'd be in the service.
Let alone that no way would he sit there.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have any understanding of what was going on.
Yeah.
So it just seemed really funny and ridiculous to me that he got a summons, but they didn't know. And all I had to do was call and explain the situation, and he was excused from ever having to be on jury duty.
Yep. Oh, here's one for you. I can't remember the commercial, so see if you guys, it just popped into my head from jury duty. Does anybody remember there was a commercial on? This would have probably been back in the late 80s, early 90s, that it was a court thing, and the guy came and sat down, and they're like, do you think you can be fair and impartial? And the lawyer turns to him, and he's wearing like an executioner's hood and a big axe. Yes, I think I can be impartial. And they're like, excused. I can't remember what that commercial was. I always loved that commercial. That's what I always thought. I've only ever been on jury duty one time, but I wanted to be. But I thought if I didn't want to be, all you gotta do is think of the key words that either the one party or the other is not gonna want to hear. Yeah. You know, and you all know what they are probably, and it'll get you excused from jury duty instantly. You know, well, it won't get you excused, but if you get up into the group to get questioned, they'll kick you off of the jury instantly.
I actually have been called to jury duty 2 other times, but neither time was there a trial. So I just had to check in every Sunday night or something like that. And
yeah.
So I never actually did have to serve.
Yeah, I was on the jury one time. I never got called since.
I'm a little worried about because I'm going to have to do it again. I postponed it until July until July. But is it a month you have to be on, or just 2 weeks?
I think it's three months.
Is it 3 months?
I think they draw jury quarterly.
Really? I didn't think it was that. I thought it was just a month. But anyway,
your card's over there. We can look.
That's going to be very hard for Craig because it's going to mess up our schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll deal with that when the time comes. But I have been kind of fretting over that, thinking, I mean, I know that Joe is here and he can do things with him, but that's not what Craig's used to.
No.
It was a little bit of a hard time when I broke my arm and I couldn't do things with him. Not that he didn't have a fit or anything, but he was just so sad and lamenting about it. It made me feel bad all the time. Harry Potter house. No one has guessed right so far that I've seen what house Joe is for Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think most people guessed Ravenclaw.
Incredibly disappointing. Oh, well.
So what house are you? Have you
Oh.
actually taken the test?
Yeah, I took 2 different ones, and they both came out. No, I am Slytherin.
So there's that.
Yeah.
A Hufflepuff and a Slytherin.
Yeah.
I think, is it Stephanie Hufflepuff and Haley both? And I can't remember Bennett. What Bennett is.
Bennett is Ravenclaw.
That's what I was thinking that.
Dusty is Gryffindor.
And we talked a lot about the birds yesterday. And unfortunately, shortly after Craig and I got home today, we were in the playroom and we heard this really loud bang from the living room window. We knew it was a bird. We figured it was a dove. Like, it sounded like a big bird.
If one of the girls would have been on the Four Seasons room, I would have thought one of them slipped and fell and hit their head on the window. It was pretty loud.
Mm-hmm.
So instantly I thought 2 things. I thought it was one of the red-bellied woodpeckers hit it, or one of the doves hit it at a high rate of speed, because they're the only big birds that we have come around here that are songbirds. Well, it ended up it wasn't a songbird, and I took some video, and I tell you, just like I mentioned in it, if you don't like that kind of stuff, you just don't watch it. Okay, just skip ahead. You can see until there isn't anything. But it was what it turned out to be was what I'm pretty sure it was a Cooper hawk. We have Cooper hawks around here, and they're not as big as like red-tailed hawks and everything. And he was about like from tail to his beak, about like that big. And I show him, but unfortunately when we got there, he was on his back, and he was kind of like looked delirious, but I could see he saw life in his eyes. And by the time I got out there, Nancy, I don't know what, I never saw what she videoed, but I got out there, and because I had to get a pair of gloves because they got big old talons, and their beaks are, you know, pretty sharp. So I went and grabbed a pair of leather gloves so I could at least flip him over. And he was all but gone by the time I got back. I turned him over because birds, the way they breathe, if they're on, that's why they say in the winter, if one of them hits you winter, you got to get them, because they fluff up and let the cold in really fast. And if they're on their backs, that exposes their lungs and their heart, and it'll just kill them super fast. So same thing, they're not used to breathing and beating with their heart up in the air like that. So I got him flipped over, but unfortunately he was gone.
Yeah, by the time I saw him, he was already gone.
Yeah.
That wasn't very long after it happened.
So I was going to give him the ashes to ashes, dust to dust, you know, and just basically I just, you know, give him back to nature across the fence like I do with other birds that don't make it. And I got thinking, the Cooper hawks are, I don't know, I didn't actually look up, but I know they're either threatened or they're endangered. Everybody used to think they were taking chickens out of people's yards and everything. So it was almost open season on them, and they just about killed them all off, but they've made a comeback. And so I thought, well, maybe somebody would want him, because he wasn't bleeding or anything. And I know down in Knoxville at the Red Rock Dam, that's where our DNR office was. And they had raptors and different birds that were stuffed and everything up on branches and everything. I thought maybe they don't have one. So I took him down. We've got a park office just down the road from us. So I put him in a little casket almost, and took him down there and caught a ranger, and he wasn't sure, he was new, so he called one of the other full-time rangers, and he wasn't sure. And he asked, what was it again? He says it's a Cooper hawk. Well, he acted like he hadn't even heard it. So they called the Polk County one up in Grinnell, which if you're close, you know where Grinnell's in. If not, it doesn't matter. And then he was going to call me back. So they took it. And if they don't have one, it sounded like they're going to go ahead and they're going to call a taxidermist, and they'll get it stuffed and have it up on display, which I'm kind of, he's dead now, but I'm just kind of hoping for that, because I could go see the bird that ran into my door. and tell the grandkids and everything about that. So.
It was really sad to see him laying there. So beautiful.
Yeah. You know, they attack my songbirds and everything, but they don't get enough of them that they'd make a dent in the bird population. More of a danger is those cowbirds that lay their eggs in the nests, and everyone just, sorry.
Oh, I thought you were
I hate those
nudging
cowbirds. Everybody knows I hate those cowbirds.
Yeah,
and the sad thing is, I just the other day I saw a male cardinal out there on one of my feeders, and he was feeding a juvenile cowbird, and it just makes my blood boil. Because that means that cowbird probably pushed two. I didn't see any juvenile cardinals this year, probably because that thing they'll push the eggs out of the nests. So, yeah, cowbirds, you're lucky you're protected.
That's our bird talk for today.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the news in our house.
Yeah.
Were you going to do a video tonight with your new bourbon that you found today?
I could, I guess. I don't know if I've got any others besides those two. I did a little bourbon run today. Wasn't super, well, it was super successful actually. I found a rare one for around here, the limited release. So I suppose I could do one
and then we'll start the new channel, which as far as I know, we'll call it Bourbon and Birds. I need to go in there and see if that name's taken. I kind of doubt it. Or Birds and Bourbon.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. But
I can't imagine that'd be taken.
If I do post it, I'll go in and try and set that channel up. That doesn't take very long. And then I'll add a tagline in this video then. So you'll know where to go and look for that video. And I think that's all we have for tonight. Craig and I went and volunteered today. And we went, of course, had lunch at Manhattan Deli. And then we went and shopped at Price Chopper. No, that's not what it's called. Craig likes to call it that. I think it's called something else. But anyway, we bought a bunch of frozen dinners.
I think it is Price Chopper, isn't it?
I don't think it, I think that's what it used to be. I think it's called something else now. I'll know from the video because the name's on the grocery store. It seems like it's something Savor. I don't know for sure.
Food Saver?
I don't think that's what it is.
Chopper Saver.
But to Craig, it will always be Price Chopper. But we went there to find some frozen meals, trying to get Craig to lose a little bit of weight. He has gained some weight since last year, and we don't want him to gain any more. So the way we did it last time was he would eat a normal lunch. We would go out or he would eat at home. Actually, at home, he ate a lot of like veggie chicken patties for lunch. And then at night, we have something calorie portioned so that it's just easier to keep track of with the frozen meals.
It's called Cash Saver.
Cash Saver. Yeah, I knew it wasn't really Price Chopper. But anyway,
you can say it the same way though. Cash Saver.
We shop for some healthier options, low calorie options. And Craig's pretty much on board with this. You know, it's really hard to make someone else be on a diet. It's just not a good feeling to have to tell him what he can and can't eat. But I know that we have to give him direction in that. But we've done this before and he knows how it goes. The hardest thing is for him to give up desserts, but we've been successful with that for a couple of days. So he's eating bananas for dessert, I think. I didn't even see what he ate, if he ate one tonight or not. But he's pretty good at, he won't sneak and get something. He'll always ask. That's just how Craig is. He's very honest.
Yeah, or if you got anything, you've got it. Whether it's, some of that balanced something, popcorn or
anything I have.
What you got there? And then he'll just stand there. You go, Craig, do you want a little bit of that? Sure. And away goes the hand.
He literally asks up everything that we eat, I feel like, except maybe spaghetti.
Yeah.
I don't think he would ask that. But yeah, I think he's going to do okay. This is definitely not going to be an all-in diet where we monitor every single thing and cut out everything, because I've always said with Craig, we have to be realistic and just make some changes. We did a little more strict before we went to Florida the last time, and I think we saw some repercussions of that. It's either that or the medication, because when we were in Florida and we weren't actively on a diet at that time, he went crazy. He wanted to eat all the time. I have never seen Craig want to eat that much.
Yeah, he would.
So I think part of it was... He would even
ask, at Boots, what about that one? And he wanted to, and if it's a food festival or something, it's tough to, because everybody wants to try that stuff.
Yeah.
So Craig he'd want to get stuff too, and Yeah, it was a little tough.
Well, and
But he
also,
devoured stuff
yeah,
at the house.
At the
We
house
rented.
was
Oh,
where I
my
saw
word.
it. Like, we had some snack mix we'd made, and Craig just, if you didn't watch it, he was just shoveling that in.
Yeah,
It's really the snacks that, I mean, they get me too. I mean, it's when you have the stuff sitting around that you're munching on all the time.
And Craig's blood sugar is fine, but man, that was just,
He
I mean,
did,
he was just shoveling. His favorite thing is carbs for a snack. So,
Oh, yeah.
and so was mine, you know, and now I'm taking 2 different diabetic medications. So there's repercussions to it if you do it for your entire life. So.
Right. So we just, at least once a night,
Bernie?
dogs have to do
No.
this.
No, there's a Australian Shepherd 2 houses down, and he's a loud barker, Bo. He likes to bark, so, and they like to bark back at him if they're outside. So.
But anyway, we will just go on to the rest of the video now. We have gone on now for 20 minutes, so I'm sure everyone's ready to see Craig. So we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Peace.
We're starting off our day checking at our P.O. box. And our next stop will be volunteering today. Time to volunteer. And today Craig's excited because he gets to bring his pop tabs. He's been saving, and Stephanie gave him a bunch too. Looks like we've got laundry.
And look at this.
Yeah, we just have to fold those. Oops, that just fell on the
All
floor.
of it.
Yep. Getting right to work. Craig's doing a little exercise while we wait on the laundry. That's pretty good. Today, Craig chose Manhattan Deli for lunch. Always a favorite. I want you to know that Craig changed his order. He used to always get the Charlie, which is like a club, but he's been eyeing my Tuesday special, and last week he tried it and loved it. So this time when we ate here, he immediately asked for the Tuesday special, which, if you don't remember or if you're new to the channel, is turkey, and I mean real turkey, like pulled turkey, ham, mayonnaise I think is in there. There's a Parmesan cheese sauce, and I think some other kind of cheese too. It's just really delicious. Like nothing you've probably ever had. And here's a good cross section, so definitely you can see some cheese in there. It's the perfect sandwich. It's kind of hard to eat. It's really messy. We usually use like a ton of napkins. I usually take the other half of mine home to Joe, and he really likes it too.
Manhattan Deli is the best sandwich place. The Tuesday special tastes good. The waiter seems great. I give it 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, and Craigie Bamboo Silver approval.
Craig wanted to go to Cash Saver. He calls it Price Chopper for some reason. We're trying to have a little more controlled portions at home, so we are going to buy some frozen meals. Craig does better with pre-portioned, and it's easier for us to keep track of his calories. We're going to look at the frozen foods here and get some fruit. As I've said before, we get a lot of comments about Craig's eating habits, and I just want to preface this to say that we're not going to stop Craig from eating some of the foods that he loves. We're just trying to find a happy medium. We do keep track of his weight every single day. I know he's gained a little weight. It's not as much as some people have been saying, but we keep an eye on it, and when we feel he's gained, we get to a point where we need to cut down, we cut down. Lots of fruits. These peaches smell pretty good, actually.
Cotton candy grapes, brown coconuts, pineapples.
Looks like they have some nice grapes.
kiwis,
Do they have? Oh, they do have some cotton candy grapes. If you haven't had these before, these are actually really good, but usually also pretty expensive. But it's a good price on green grapes, so we're definitely going to be getting some of these. We need bananas. We'll see what else we can find. Craig, should we get cotton candy grapes?
Yes, yes, we do.
All right.
Because the grapes taste like cotton.
That's right. Craig really likes these, so we're going to get some of those today. We've decided snacks are only fruit at home and desserts. We're trying to cut out dessert for the most part, but when we go to the fair next week, all bets are off on that stuff. We're going to take a day off for that because we've been talking about that for a long time, and Craig looks forward to the fair every year. Bananas are one of Craig's staples. He eats bananas every single day, and I feel like they're good for him, so that's usually, we like to make desserts out of bananas.
Like what?
And Libby and Joe, remember the frozen bananas with the sugar-free caramel sauce? Yeah, you like that. What do you think of that big bag of cheese sauce?
Yeah.
I mean, a big can of cheese sauce. That's some cheese sauce there, isn't it? Maybe some Kool-Aid jammers for the girls. A Kool-Aid jammer.
There's grape and watermelon.
A serving size is 2 pouches for 45 calories. That's actually not terrible. And it does have vitamin C. I think we'll try one of those. I think I need these big olives in my life. I've had these before. I like these. It's not really cost effective. $1.61. There's probably not a whole pickle in there. Let's see what you can find. Okay. Let's look at the calories. And it has 410. That's not bad for a meal. We like to come here to look at their frozen meals because they tend to have more than the other grocery stores. What'd you find?
Lean cuisine.
You gonna try this one? Oven fried chicken bowl. And it has 340 calories. Well, that's a good one. I hope you like it. And I'm actually looking for the chili mac in the Amy's, and they're out of it also. Walmart only had one when I ordered it. So, I don't need that here. Craig tends to like the Marie Calendar meals. What did we find?
Miserable.
And this is the meatloaf at $3.70. Let's see. They have boneless fried chicken. I didn't look at the. I didn't look at the calories. 600. Ooh. That one's a little high.
What?
Maybe we should look for a different one.
Rats.
I didn't realize that was a mega one. Let's see if we could find one that's not so high in calories. No, there's other ones you've gotten. Okay, go ahead. You can pick one. If you see one you like, bring it out and let's see it. Looks like this is a good one. Yep, $2.70. That's really good. I find if we can, he can eat meals for dinner that are like 500 or under, then what he eats for lunch isn't such a big deal. He doesn't usually gain weight on it, unless it's extreme. Anyway, this is all an experiment, and we'll see how it works. But we can't just take everything away from him. Let me see that one. Oh, he picked another lean cuisine. Craig's making some really good choices. And this would be a good one. I'm going to try that. This one.
Hey, this one looks familiar.
Oh,
This
did you
is
already
the
pick? Oh,
same-
it's the one you already picked out. All right, I one. Put that one. Okay. That way you can get your pizza in. How many? And this has 350. This is one that Joe and I like to have once in a while. I like to add a little extra meat sauce to it, though. Oh, Craig's gagging back here. I forgot. He was, you don't have to see us when we eat it. Craig just doesn't even like us to talk about it. But I think I'll grab one or two of these for Joe and I. I don't know if I've ever had this one, so we might try it. You may wonder why I'm buying frozen meals for Joe and I as well. Well, we're both trying to eat a little healthier, and frozen meals are just good for portion control. And if I make a big meal, then it means there's lots of leftovers and Craig wants to eat those, and it's just harder to keep track of portions. So this usually works good for us. So we got all stocked up with some foods to help us hopefully lose some weight and be a little healthier. And there's Craig's package in there we have to open when we get home today.
Wow.
Thank you.
This is trippy.
You find a place to put that in there? Uh-oh, it's starting to rain on us. Let's see. Just make sure you don't squish the grapes. So after a very rainy return of packages to the UPS, we are at Genesis. Trying to get back into our routine of going to the gym every day. We've had a lot of things going on lately that's kind of messed that up, but I'm gonna get back on track. And tomorrow Craig wants to go to the YMCA. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
I think Craig's excited to be back. How was your workout?
Good.
Good to the last drop. So when we were at Genesis, Craig and I tried this Glacier Cherry Gatorade, but I noticed it had 140 calories in it. So we're going to try the zero of the same flavor and see if it tastes as good.
Okay, here I go.
What do you think?
Tastes good.
Let me see it. Take the lid off.
Including some of the Sesame Street characters from the back and Uncle Traveling Matt in front of the bear.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
The orange.
I think that we have a new winner for a drink for Craig and I. We'll have to order some. And I saw that they also have this in those little drink packets, so maybe we can get that for when we go to Florida for at the parks, so we can put it in water, so we don't have to pay $5 for a soda.
And what that might be?
What do you think?
Hawaiian Punch?
Yeah, or what do you think this?
Gatorade?
The Gatorade packets. Would you like that, or do you want the fruit punch flavor?
The fruit punch flavor.
Okay.
It's mail time, folks. So who is this from?
Craig's been excited all day to open this package.
From Miss Jennifer Henry. It's from Nancy and Joe.
Okay, I'll put that over here.
And this is for me.
Okay.
Craig, my son Grace and I watch you all the time. Grayson wanted to draw you a picture. We hope you enjoy everything and look forward to hearing from you. God bless your honey. Love, Jennifer and Grayson.
Let's see the picture Grayson drew for you.
Detective Pikachu.
Let's see it. That is so cool. I love that, Craig. Isn't that cool? Well, Craig's onto his...
Groot.
You turn around and Groot so we can see his face. Oh, it's a Thai one. How cute. As I always say, how cute. But it really is cute.
Squash ears.
And we have no Groots. What is it?
Squash.
Oh, squishy ears. You hold it up so you can see it? And turn it around now. Oh, that'll be another good one to put at your desk with your other ones you have. We're getting a collection now. Looks like there's a shirt.
Homer Simpson.
It says, woohoo! I love it.
Woo!
Hey, Craig, do you remember that song that Lurleen sings?
Lorraine.
Yeah, on that episode. How does it go?
I finally found me a Homer.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, me too.
Who plays the part of whose voice is that?
Beverly D'Angelo, who is from National Lampoon's Vacation movies.
Yeah. I actually didn't know that. I thought it was maybe one of the country western singers. It's pretty. I love that shirt.
No.
That's going to be fun to wear when we go on our Universal Studios trip soon.
Yeah, we were put in a suitcase.
Yeah, we should just put that in the suitcase so we remember it. Oh, your favorite place to eat.
Applebee's.
Turn it around so we can see it. Nice. Now I know where we'll be eating soon. It's always Craig's first choice.
Wow, socks.
Turn them around so we can see who's on them. Oh, or you got your face in your hand. Let's see. Bart Simpson socks. Are there other ones or are they all Bart? Oh,
Homer.
no, there's Homer. And what's this one? This one's Krusty the Clown. I like those. Those are going to be good to wear this winter when you start wearing your long pants again. Or fall. Do you want us to help you? Dad could cut that with the scissors.
Yeah.
So you don't tear a hole in the socks.
Thanks, Jennifer and Grayson. Whoa!
I can't wait for you to wear that on the Simpsons ride.
Yeah,
Because that really reminds me of the Simpsons ride. So tonight for dinner, Craig has chosen to have this Marie Callender's turkey pot pie. He's opening the box. Okay, let's see. We might need that box to microwave it in. So let's check out the directions. I hate how they don't put the directions on the back of the box anymore. Okay, so you're supposed to open the box. We need to make a slit in the crust. Maybe you can get your safe knife out of the drawer. And then you're going to microwave it in the open, the one that someone sent to you. You can use that to make a slit in the crust.
Like this?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if you can make a slit. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to cook it in the microwave. So let's see what it says for time-wise.
Microwave, 8.5 minutes. 8 minutes and 3 seconds.
Okay. Have you had this one before?
Yeah.
Oh, so we know you like that one. Is it done?
Yep, it's done.
Looks pretty good. For dinner tonight, Joe and I are having these Amy's meals. We've had these before and we like them a lot. This is probably my favorite one. And I like this one too. I think this might be Joe's favorite. I don't like a lot of healthy frozen foods, I'll put it that way, like lean cuisine and healthy choice. I usually don't like the flavor. But these have excellent flavor. And we're not vegan or vegetarian, but they have a really good taste. And they also have pretty good nutrients. This one has 10% of your iron for the day. Has potassium, calcium. That's the cheese enchilada. And this one has similar. So I actually feel good about eating these two. And the calories are usually between 400 to 500 calories for one meal. And we make these in the microwave. And I will say these are not cheap. They are between $6 and $7 for one meal. but they are what I consider to be high-end frozen meals. Very enjoyable and quick and easy. And these are the meals after they're cooked. This is my cheese enchiladas. So this is Joe's chili relleno casserole. He's actually going to put a couple of tablespoons of the Graziano's Italian sausage that we had left from Sunday. He did that last night with his vegetarian chili mac too that we had. So, bon appetit. We're ready to eat.
Moose's Book Bus by Inga Moore. Narrated. Moose lived with his family in a house in the woods. Every evening after supper, when they all had settled comfortably around the fire in their living room, Moose would tell his family a story. Then one evening, Moose couldn't think of a single story. He hadn't told his family before. "Why don't you read us a story?" suggested Mrs. Moose. So Moose went to borrow a storybook from Bear next door. But Bear didn't have a storybook. Neither did any of the other animals who lived in the woods. Not Badger, not Fox, not Hare, not Mole, not the 3 wild pigs. Not even the beavers had a storybook that Moose could borrow. So next day, Moose went to the library in town. At the library, there were lots and lots of storybooks for Moose to borrow. "How about Little Red Riding Hood?" suggested the librarian. "Or Puss in Boots, or Cinderella. You can borrow them all if you like, Moose." "My," said Bear when she saw all the storybooks. And that evening, after supper, she brought her cubs along to hear Moose read Little Red Riding Hood. Next day, Bear told Badger how exciting Little Red Riding Hood had been. And that evening, she came back to hear Moose read Puss in Boots. Only this time, as well as her cubs, Bear brought Badger with her and Badger's hubby and their cubs. And that evening after that, as well as her cubs and Badger's hubby and their cubs, Bear brought Fox along to listen to Cinderella. And the Fox brought his missus and their cubs. Hare came too, and Mole. And then the wild pigs brought 3 litters of piglets. Come in, said Moose. "The more the merrier." But they were really rather squashed. And poor Mrs. Moose was run off her feet, making cocoa for everyone. When the beavers piled in, it got so awfully crowded in the Moose's living room. It was like being in a can of sardines. No one could move. Moose hardly had room to read Cinderella. And this was a pickle, it really was. So next morning, Moose called out the librarian on the telephone. Then he went to the junkyard and found an old bus. And after he had fixed the bus up, it fitted him out. Moose drove it to the library in town. The bus was loaded up with lots and lots of storybooks. Books for Bear to borrow, and for Badger, and for all the other animals who lived in the woods. "But we can't read," said Bear. So Moose taught Bear to read. Then Bear taught Badger, and Badger taught Fox. Not Fox. Mrs. Moose taught Hare to read. Then Hare taught Mole. Mole and Hare taught the 3 wild boars, and the wild pigs taught the beavers. Soon everyone was borrowing storybooks from the book bus and taking them home to read for themselves or with their neighbors. Because reading together is such good fun. But no one could read a story like Moose could, and so his living room still got full. Okay, now it was just in a cozy way, with never a whiff of sardines. The end. And this is Craigie Varus saying, keep on having a great day, and we'll see you later.